Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 2nd September 2022. Well, the transfer did go through. Callum Styles has signed from Barnsley to Millwall on a season-long loan. This is the story from bbc.co.uk, but it's going to get very weird very quickly, so see if you can see where it gets weird. Millwall signed midfielder Callum Styles on a season-long loan from Barnsley, while he has also agreed a new contract with the Tykes. The 22-year-old Hungary international signed a new deal with Barnsley to keep him with the club to 2025. Styles has made 129 appearances in all competitions for the South Yorkshire side, including 8 this season. While with the Tykes, Styles helped them reach the Championship playoffs in 2021 when they lost to Swansea. Everyone at Hookwell wishes Callum the best of luck in his loan move, Barnsley said in a statement following the announcement of his move and his new contract. Styles, who scored against Ipswich in his most recent appearance for Barnsley, will be eligible for selection when Mill will take on Cardiff in the Championship on Saturday. Did you notice where it got weird? Yeah, he signed a new deal with Barnsley. What's that about? So it's already weird that there's a player from League One signing on loan to a Championship team, but that's getting more common. I told you in yesterday's video, because there's a salary cap in League One. It's going to destroy the league. The talent is going to flood out there. They're going to be left with youth players and bare bones, and it's going to be sad to see. And it's going to be really sad if we get relegated into that league anytime soon. Maybe not this season, but any time in the future if that salary crap cap is still going. But yeah, so what's going on here? What is going on here? Now, obviously, they want to keep him. It seems they want to keep him because they've signed him on a deal. Maybe it's not a 1 year deal. They've given him an extra 3 years. What's happening? Why is he coming on loan if they signed him to a new deal? It's very weird. Maybe, like I said, with salary cap, they can't afford to keep him with the wages he's on because they were in the Championship. They got relegated. They did let a few players go, Michael Hellick and him. Maybe he wants to play in the Championship. He's not happy playing in League One. Now he's in Hungary international, but I did check. They are not in the World Cup, so I thought, well, maybe he wants to come play at the highest level he can to get in that Hungary squad for the World Cup. But they're not in the World Cup, so maybe they've just said to him that he wants to play in that anyway. That's part of it. But why would Barnsley care about that? Because they don't care if he plays for Hungary or not. So I don't know if it's that. Is it financial? Is it he wants to play in the Championship? Now Barnsley, obviously, they're hoping that they get promoted to the Championship next season. So maybe they said, well, okay, you want to play in the Championship, we'll loan you to the Championship, and then hopefully when we get promoted this year, we'll be in the Championship. You can come back to us, and you come back and play for Barnsley in the Championship. Maybe that's the situation. I don't know, but it's all very weird. Here's another thing as well. What kind of deal did Millwall agree with the season-long loan? How much of his wages are we picking up? Is it all of it? Did we agree a figure, or did we agree a percentage? And then they then said, if we said, well, we'll pay 80% of his wages, but we didn't define the figure. So Barnsley have said, well, maybe he doesn't want to take the loan. So Barnsley have said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll give you a pay increase in a new contract. Because we won't be paying it, Millwall will. Is that what's going on here? It's all very weird. Maybe they wanted to sell him. No one wanted to pay. So they've needed to get rid of him for financial reasons, so they loaned him out as quick as they could. His contract was about to run out this season, so they re-signed that. But why would he then re-sign that if they don't want him? They want to cash in on him. Now, I really don't understand, because they're not going to get any. He didn't come through there at Barnsley. So they can't do that old compensation thing. So he come through at Burnley and then went to Bury. It's not compensation. Like if he just walks away at the end of his contract, he can go anywhere he wants. Why would he sign a new deal if they want to get rid of him to cash in on him? See, if they can't try to cash in on him, they couldn't. So if they extend the deal, he plays well for Millwall in the Championship, then maybe they can cash in on next season, in next summer. This is all very weird. The situation here is very, very weird. I hope if he does play, he plays very well, because this is going to be used as something against him and against the club that this deal has gone through, and the way it's gone through. What the hell are we doing here? What is this? What is this? We signed a player on loan, and the same day he signed for us, he signed a new contract with the club that he's at. But yeah, there you go. So, Callum Styles, come on down. Join the circus at Millwall. So, what does Gary Rowett think of the transfer deadline? So this is from news at den.co.uk. Millwall boss on a horrific deadline day. Gary Rowett admitted that he doesn't enjoy the stress of transfer deadline day. The Millwall boss was keen to get these business done early in the window, but the club have been left sweating over whether or not they can get a loan deal on his Callum Styles over the line. Well, that went through. When asked how he sees deadline day from a manager's point of view, Rowett answered, "Horrific is the answer to that. It's horrendous because there is an external pressure to feel like you have to do something. As the day rolls on, you get so many calls about things, and you start to think, should we just do something? Should we get one done? Is that the right one? You get other decisions to make. If you imagine cramming all of your decisions in a month into 4 hours, then you probably get a good understanding of what it's like. I remember we signed a player at 11 o'clock one day. We'd gone all day trying to do business. We got to 11 o'clock, and we ended up doing a deal at 11:01, so it got turned away. That was Mikkel Keftenberg. I'm sure you probably remember. Mikkel was in our building for 4 days before we realised it wasn't passed through by the FA. I think Leicester had a similar situation at the same time. It's not nice. It seems ridiculous that it always goes down to the last day. If you look at it, we're not the only club. There are lots and lots of clubs looking to do business on the last day. If you know there's a last day and you're the selling club, then it's in your interest to wait until then and see if someone panics or pays a bit more than they normally would. The fact that there's programs on Sky that run the whole day on transfer news tells you that stuff happens and there's lots of excitement. Fans love it and everyone's sat by the television to see what their team does. They define the season by what you do in this 24 hours. Sometimes it's a little bit hectic. Yeah, it does seem like that. It does seem like that. So, like I said it the other day, why don't they just close it at 9 o'clock and make it a television show? Make it X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, Football's Got Talent. Just do it like that. Build it around Sky Television. Why not? Why don't they do it so it's just 24 hours? So it's only for that one day when you can do all of your business. That would be absolutely crazy. You'd have deals popping off all day, every minute of every day, or all day long. But that would be a bit silly. But maybe the weekend, maybe they can make it like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. That's what happens if you follow the NFL draft. That's kind of what they do there. They have the big television moment on the draft day, the first round, and then they do like 6 rounds. I think they only televise the first 3 rounds. But yeah, why can't they do that? Why can't they have like the 5 days of the transfer window? Each day, it's only a 5-day transfer window, and each day is on television, and the numbers would be through the roof. Why not? And then, because we did all our business early on, why not? Just get it done in that window. Everyone knows. Make the transfer a week long, 5 days long, 3 days long, whatever. But here's the thing: however long you make it, you'll still have that final day where he says they're going to go crazy, and then they're going to start pushing deals through. So let's move on to this. We got news today from millfc.co.uk that Millwall versus Watford has been selected for TV broadcast. Millwall Sky Bet Championship fixture at home to Watford on Wednesday the 19th of October has been selected the live broadcast by Sky Sports. The game, which was originally scheduled to kick off at 7:45 p.m, will now begin 15 minutes later at 8 p.m. So there you go. On Sky Television, Wednesday the 19th of October, 8 p.m, which probably give a lot of fans a lot of reason to not bother going. Our night games are probably the most non-attended games, and maybe this will help some people out with that kicking off at 8 o'clock. I don't think so, because every time the fans have complained, they said, why don't you bring the kick off earlier? They can get home. There's a lot of fans who are travelling out towards Kent and further afield, get home really late. So they won't mind like a 7:15 kickoff or a 7 o'clock kickoff. But Sky, for some reason, are doing 8 p.m. kickoffs. Who knows why, but it is what it is. So there you go. Now we move on to some fun and games. Did you go to the Birmingham City game on St George's Day 2022? If you did, and you partook of some fun and games, your picture may be on the internet, and some people may be looking for you, namely the West Midlands Police. So this is from www.west-midlands.police.uk. On their news pages, appeal following Millwall vs Birmingham City match. We need your help identifying dozens of suspects after disorder at St Andrew's Stadium in Birmingham on 23rd of April. Our football officers and detectives have been carrying out extensive inquiries in the months since, and now want to speak to those men about the disorder between Millwall and Birmingham City fans. The level of violence which our officers put themselves in the middle of to protect people was disgusting, causing fear for innocent members of the public, including children who had nothing to do with the match. Bricks, bottles and objects were thrown inside and outside the stadium on Coventry Road. Further fights and violence continued as fans walked through Digbeth back to Birmingham City Centre, with pubs damaged along the way. Around 150 seats inside St Andrews Stadium were vandalised during the game. We had a large-scale police operation in place, which thankfully prevented a lot of incidents, but a few fans were intent on violence. Sergeant Lizzie Lewandowski from the WMP football unit said the vast majority of football supporters were in the city to enjoy the game, but there was some determined to ruin it for everyone. They terrorised the streets, leaving people scared, and pub landlords having to pick up the bill for damages. This behaviour will not be tolerated. Those found to have taken part in the disorder face prosecution, application for a football banning order, as well as club bans from matches. We know there are a lot of images, but we're determined to do everything we can to find those responsible so that they can be punished appropriately by the courts. And then they ask you to call Crime Stoppers. So it's on a Flickr account. It's here, this link. If you did go and you want to see if you're on there, this is the place to go. I have looked through them. Some of them seem to be Birmingham City fans because they look a bit scruffy and troglodyte. Whereas you see some pictures of people with jawlines and nice haircuts. But the only person they're wearing colours is a Millwall fan wearing a zip-up tracksuit top. So I know there's at least one Millwall fan there. And I'm pretty sure probably the bottom, if you go on there and scroll down, I think the bottom half are Millwall fans. And they do repeat some of the pictures more than once. So, but yeah, there's a lot of pictures. Like probably like maybe like 50 or 60. So 50 or 60 pictures of people at the Birmingham City game. So you may want to look at that if you went to that game to see if you are on there, and be prepared for what's going to come. It's funny though, isn't it, that they have the time and resources to do this for football matches, but when you never see anything like this. So we've just had like a big event in Notting Hill the other day where several incidents happened. Someone was murdered by being stabbed, and many other stabbings. I think like 70 police officers were injured in violent scuffles. Where are the pictures for that? Do you think we're going to see any pictures of that? It's funny how that happens, isn't it? They have time and resources to hunt down months later football fans But all these dozy protesters, Notting Hill Carnival attendees, people attacking other people in political rallies and shit. Can't be bothered with that. They cannot be bothered with that. But they can be bothered trying to find a group of people who want to engage in mutual combat. Anyway, moving on. Nothing to see here. Gary Rowett. Let's get back to Gary Rowett and see what else he's saying. So Millwall boss discusses playing a back four. What do you think he's going to say now? What do you think? This is from newsatden.co.uk. What do you think he's going to say? Do you think he's going to say, no, there's nothing wrong with playing a back five? As you can see from the results on the right hand side, we're 19th in the table. What's wrong with playing a back five? I don't think it's going to go like that. Gary Rowett discussed the risks of making tactical adjustments to his side ahead of Saturday's match against Cardiff. The Lions have played in a variety of different formations in their last two games, starting with a 5-2-1-2 against Reading. That works pretty well, didn't it? And a 5-2-3 against Burnley. That was even better. 2-0 loss. However, the Lions ended up making a switch in both games, moving into a back four as they chased the games in the dying stages. Many supporters have been keen for the Mill boss to ditch his five-at-the-back system, although he highlighted the risks involved if you made yet another tactical tweak by changing the back line. It's difficult because we've had 3 seasons where we've had a relative success with a system and different ways of playing it. Just like so many teams have done. If you look in our division, there's probably more teams that play a back five than they do a four, so it's not just us that feels it's a system that's very flexible. I think the issue with five sometimes is if you don't pass the ball well and you don't play well on the ball, then it stays as a five and not as a 3-4-3 or whatever you want it to be. That's the key. It's not so much the system, it's how you play at it. We've played a system that's classed as a defensive one and won virtually every home game with it over a period of time. I'm not saying you have to do that forever. I'm not saying you will do that forever. There's always a time when you come and you feel like you need to make a change. We've used it a lot in games where we've chased the game in a four and it's helped. But we started in a four a number of times as well. We did that a few times when we pushed Scott Malone up to the left wing position to start the game. We started in a four-way a whole last season, lost the game and played poorly. For me, it's less about the system, more about how the players play it. Of course, everyone loves to have an opinion on it. If you lose, 5 at the back is negative. If you win, 3-4-3 is really an attacking system. It's something that you try not to listen to too much opinion and try to form your own, really. Great. So yeah, let's just keep on doing a thing that's not working. Hopefully, we might get lucky, and one day it might work, and then Gary Rowett can point to it and see, I told you it works. As we win 1 game in 8. As we beat Cardiff tomorrow after losing 4 games in a row. See, the system does work. See, because we won this 1 game. It does work. Yeah, I'm sure. It's not... Here's the thing, mate. It's not the defenders. It's the midfield. We're getting overrun in midfield. So how do you need to put someone else in midfield? Where are you going to get them from? Well, you get them from the back because you've got 3 centre backs and 2 wingers or 2 wing backs. So you've got to put that extra man in there somewhere. It's not about how many are actually at the back. It's getting an extra body in midfield so we don't get overrun. But anyway, so let's see what Hutchinson has to say. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. I think it's a piece for their paper on Friday. So Mill skipper Hutch, we wanted better start, but there was no reason for panic stations. Sean Hutchinson is into his 7th season at Millwall, and so he is more aware than most that the Lions can often take a while to click into their groove. But the experienced centre-back 31 has made no attempt to hide his disappointment at their start to the new Championship season. Tuesday's 2-0 defeat at Burnley means the Lions are averaging a point per game, which is relegation form, by the way. 46 games, 46 points, relegation. But they also only had 7 points on the board at the same stage in the 21-22 campaign, and ended up taking their playoff prospects right up until the final fixture at AFC Bournemouth. What has smarted more for Hutchinson, signed on a free transfer after he was released by Fulham in 2016, is the 11 goals conceded. Their only clean sheet came in a 2-0 opening day win over Stoke City, which I believe Hutchinson was not involved in. I don't think he played in that one. Since I've been here, we've never really got off to a great start, the Mill captain told the South London Press. Not that that is any excuse. Every year we try and have the same thing. We're not picking up results. What is going on? As much as that is frustrating, is more the manner we are getting beaten. A lot of goals going in, cheap goals, silly goals. That is what it is. It's a big deal. I know it's no excuse, but we've had some really difficult away fixtures. Reading at home was a really, really poor result, indeed. But the away fixtures, Norwich, Sheffield United and Burnley, are about as difficult as you can get. I need to reiterate that I don't for 1 minute accept it and think it's okay. We're not playing great. We're not playing at our best. The lads can feel frustrated at the start, but let's not start panicking. We have been here many times before and results will come. We just need to iron out a few things. The manager mentioned it in his press conference that the players need to step up a little bit, myself included, and start putting in performances. We need to get back to being hard to beat, a resilient Millwall team. Asked about Rowett's comments after the reverse at Turf Moor, Hutchinson said, I wouldn't really say it's anything we didn't already know as players. There has been a lot of change in the team because the manager is looking for his best 11 right now, whether that is form, ability, or whatever it might be. So you see what he said, that he's putting it back on the manager there. He's saying, well, he keeps changing the fucking team. What's going on? I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying it classier than me. Nothing is really ticking yet to suggest that he has found his best 11. Another little slide dig. I'm not really sure right now whether that is because a few people are not in form, or a few people not full fitness, or a few not full confidence, but I'm certain it won't take long before he starts to find his best 11 and we start picking up some consistent results. So when we get a consistent team, we'll get consistent results. Well, we're getting consistent results now, actually. We're losing. We lost 4 in a row, so that's pretty consistent, don't you think? We will need to win. Doesn't matter who, but we can change the team every week as long as we win. I don't give a fucking shit, mate. We need to stick what we know, stick to what we do best, and the results will turn around. Millwall had only lost 6 of their last 37 home games in front of fans at the Den under Gary Rowett, casting aside the results when COVID took things behind closed doors. Before Saturday's 1-0 defeat with Reading, the Lions headed into that fixture on a run of 5 successive home championship victories. It needs to be just be a little blip with 3 or 4 of the next 4 in their own patch, starting with Cardiff tomorrow. It's no secret that no one really fancies coming to the Den. How solid we've been there, said Hutchinson. Sometimes we might not be at our best away and you can take a draw because of our home form, but if you don't get the results there, then you have to push for wins away. It's been a strength and we need to continue it, because if our home form slips, then we'll be slipping down the league. We'll be looking to build a lot of confidence in those games by getting clean sheets. It was a disappointing result with Burnley, but I'm not too downbeat. I'm still looking forward to how our season is going to pan out. Interesting words from Hutch there. Now, we have the game tomorrow, Cardiff game. Let's start previewing it. Now, this is the game where, I think in last year's preview I mentioned, draws galore. More draws than a chest of drawers. From 2004 to 2022, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 draws out of 9, 10, 11 games. So 8 draws in the last 11 games at the Den. So 8 draws in the last 11 games. That is weirdly insane. So, but if you can see, we haven't lost many times against Cardiff. There have only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defeats to Cardiff. 7 defeats in probably what that looks like about 30 games or so. That's a pretty good record for Millwall. Pretty good record. Quite a fair few draws though, even before that run of draws. So it's not a game we always win, but we very rarely lose it. So if we lose tomorrow, if they aren't already, then the alarm bells need to be ringing in your head. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, because to be fair, we should be winning tomorrow's game. We should be winning that game. So let's get on to whoscored.com and look at their preview. So here we go. The last 6 games at Millwall versus Cardiff. Only 2 clean sheets. 2014 by Millwall and 2012 by Cardiff. Last time they won at then 2012. You can see even though these results are Millwall winning 2, Cardiff winning 1, and 3 draws, the number of goals has been 7 for Millwall and 7 for Cardiff. But we've had 11 yellow cards. They've only had 3. That's pretty weird. 3 yellow cards in 6 games. Odd. So, match facts on the right hand side. Millwall failed to score in the last 3 championship matches. Yes, and none of our strikers have scored yet. Will they score tomorrow? We don't know. Millwall have lost the last 3 matches. Well, if you fail to score, you're probably going to lose them there. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in 5 of Cardiff's last 6 away games. Millwall are undefeated in 12 of their last 13 home matches against Cardiff in all competitions. Yeah, the draws and the wins. So that one there in 2012, that was the one defeat at home against Cardiff in 13 games. One defeat in 13 games. This game we should be winning, based on the players that we have and the players that they have, and based on history that we're seeing in front of us right now. We should be winning this game. No ifs, no buts. So if we don't, it's going to be a problem. You can see the form here. Cardiff are 17th in the table, Millwall on 19th. 1 point difference, and that being they drew their second last game and we lost it. So you see they haven't won for 4 games. We haven't won for 4 games. Quite similar teams. They've only scored 4 goals so far this season. So we've actually scored more than them. But they've only conceded 6. So they have a worse attack and a better defence than us right now. So let's see how both teams have been getting on. Millwall at home and Cardiff away. So Cardiff failed to score against Bristol City, losing 2-0. They failed to score against West Brom, but did get a draw there, 0-0. They lost 2-1 at Reading. So not too good for them. And in the pre-season friendly away at Shrewsbury, they could only get 0-0. I'm sure that was great for everyone who went to that game. Pre-season friendly and it ends 0-0. Great. Especially against a lower league opposition. Though they did beat Swindon 4-2. Now Millwall, as we know, lost their last game out against Reading 1-0 with an abject display, absolutely abject, which led to finally the dropping of Afobe and Malone, where coming into the Burnley game, and we did play a bit better against Burnley, but Burnley are very, very good, so we still ended up losing 2-0. So that's the time we failed to score in our home game so far this season, and the only clean sheet is the Stoke game. We were 2-0 down against Coventry and had to come back 3-2 with the help of them getting a man sent off. So been a mixed bag of craziness from Millwall at home so far this season. Will that continue tomorrow? Here are the team's strengths and weaknesses, and you can see here this is a game that we should be winning because we have more strengths than them, but we also have a lot more weaknesses than them. And here's the styles of play. Match forecast. Millwall will dominate in the air, very likely. Cardiff will steal the ball from the opposition off them. That's likely. Cardiff will dominate possession. Yeah, most likely, because we don't play that way. Even at home we don't play that. So let's get on to the prediction. What do they predict then after all of that? We've seen the match facts. Prediction. Millwall offered next to nothing going forward on Tuesday night as they were beaten 2-0 on the road by visitor companies Burnley. Fans are losing patience with Gary Rowett after the South London club lost 3 league games in a row heading into the game week 8. A late Romain Sawyer's goal counted for nothing in the end as Cardiff were beaten 2-1 at home by a slow start in Luton. Goals are hard to come by for the Welsh side, who travelled to London winless in their last 4 league outings, and they say it's going to be Millwall 0, Cardiff 0. Interesting. Very interesting. So, let's move on now to David Prutton's prediction. What does he think? Where are we on this page as I scroll down? Probably near the bottom. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting of games. Millwall versus Cardiff. He predicts Millwall 1, Cardiff 0. Cardiff 0. What do I say? Well, I say this is a game we should be winning. But there's obviously a lot of problems there right now. And it doesn't help when instead of those problems being addressed and solutions being found for them, they get ignored and the fans get told that the problems don't exist. There's, to use a phrase that gets bandied around like they're being gaslit. No, everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We just need to add more players, and once we'll get a player that actually plays in the system and plays really well. And once we get that, then everything will be fine. Could it be the slow start that Sean Hutchinson's talking about? Maybe. Will this get us going? Callum Styles will make his debut tomorrow, but that's, like I said, if he doesn't play well, then that weird deal that happened is going to be brought up against him. Who plays up front? You got to think Fleming starts, but then who else? Bradshaw done okay. Phobie's still a bit flat, even when he came on. But he had a good chance, didn't put in the net. Now he did get unlucky with a deflection from the goalkeeper, but what can you do? What can you do? I think we should be winning this game. I don't think we will. I hope we will. So don't come back afterwards if we do and make fun of me. But I want us to win. I don't think we will. And I would like to say that we're going to draw the game, but even that I'm not too sure about. I think we're going to lose this game. I think we're going to lose this game. We've got Steve Morrison back, and we've got Marlon Romeo. I think that will give them extra motivation. And I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose 2-1. It's not often that we lose at home to Cardiff, but I think we're going to lose 2-1 tomorrow. And I think everyone's going to get a bit rolled up. They're not going to be happy. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.